Singapore is a small republic island in South Asia situated just off the tips of the Malaysian peninsula. Since the beginning of its independent existence, Singapore's physical constraint has made it challenging to balance its competing needs and to optimize the use of its scarce land area. Throughout Singapore's history, land reclamation can be traced back during its colonial time. The first land reclamation in Singapore were taken shortly after the establishment of the territory by Stafford Raffles in 1819, and later when the British had new plans for developing new buildings of port facilities as they were becoming necessary with the increasing strategic, military and administrative significance of the area. A new land reclamation phase commenced after the independence of Singapore with the help of economic development project. Thus, the beginning of large-scale land reclamation project with hundreds of hectares in size, which has become necessary in order to provide for the ever-increasing demand for land for industry, transportation facilities, accommodation, and housing. Examples of projects mentioned are land reclamation from the sea, total about 8 kilometers to 2 between the city center and the new Changi Airport. Particularly notable is the extensions of the City Business District (CBD) into area formerly covered by the sea. There's no denying that this reclamation project has helped Singapore to achieve its position among the world's top 5 commissioner area center and also top 10 world center. But in 2002, Malaysia began to voice its displeasure at Singapore's land reclamation works in Tuas, Pulau Tekong. Pulau Tekong is located in the northeastern part of Singapore, where Tuas is in the west part of Singapore. Malaysia alleged that Singapore's land reclamation works in Pulau Tekong and Tuas impinged Malaysia territory, causing pollution and also other harms to its border.
Worldwide that centered around coastal areas and always placed shoreline ecosystem at risk. Land reclamation involving new island formation is an usual phenomenon in Asia and Middle East particularly, are all recognized globally as major conserving issue. Taking an example of Penang and what happened in Penang in Johor, there would be a clear relationship between forced artificial land extension due to extensive urbanization and increase in human population, alternatively decreasing the quality of coastal habitats. Throughout history, settlement focused in coastal zones as they due to abundance of natural resources and better trade opportunities. Coastal areas becoming saturated with high-rise buildings such as what happened in Asia, and Asia owns actually 60% of the world's most populous coastal cities. Natural habitats like mangrove forests, seagrass beds, salt marshes and mudflats are rapidly being replaced by artificial habitats such as seawalls, breakwater and marinas. It is all about estimated that by year of 2030, up to 12.5 million kilometers square of natural habitats will potentially be replaced by artificial habitats. Without natural habitats like mangroves means the island is prone to storms and erosion, poor water quality like absence of natural biofilters such as bivalve and corals, while not having coastal wetlands can cause anthropogenic discharge. According to Food and Agriculture Organization Corporate Statistical Database, for start in 2013, Malaysia is actually 6th biggest consumer of fish globally, and this could be severely affected as the fisheries around the coastal lines were severely affected due to this land reclamation.
For this part of the video, we're going to talk about the Johor and Singapore land dispute in 2014. So Johor, Malaysia is a small border town on the thin Johor Straits of Singapore. It is located in Malaysia's southernmost state, and the area has given its dynamic southern neighbor quite a bit of its history. However, after some time, strong financial differences have emerged between the two regions, including the amount of land venture. In the previous few years, however, Johor has seen an emotional increase in this venture, including various aspiring land ventures by Chinese developers. So the project that the China company has invested is called Forest City, and it is expected to have an area of about 2,000 hectares, and it is being constructed on the reclaimed land in the Straits of Johor. Official press release statement was stated by the Minister of Foreign Affairs in June 2014 in Malaysia, saying that there is always a natural concern about any conceivable transboundary impacts on Singapore from property improvement extents that include recovery works in the Straits of Johor. The project is being developed by Country Garden Pacific View, which is a merger of various investors. There is the Malaysian Esplanade Dangga 88, a state-owned investment arm of Johor, which holds stake as well as the Sultan of Johor, and a private investor closely associated with the Sultan. With the major share of 60%, the developer is the Chinese company, the Country Garden, which has already constructed a large-scale housing project in Johor Bahru. The Chinese influence on this project is fueling concerns in Malaysia. After all, it is a planned city with all aspects of urban development and administration are organized by this private merger. Specifically, this city will have a private healthcare, private education, and even private security. The main shareholder, which is the Chinese company, raises concerns about a loss of sovereignty in Malaysia. Investment in China is making. In other countries are strengthening trade between the nations involved, but in some countries there is a growing concern about the power that China is gaining through these projects. So Malaysia's former Prime Minister Najib Razak has opened to cooperate with China and has signed a few contracts. This includes construction of a railway line by a Chinese company, as well as 2 pipeline projects and also the Forest City. But during the 2018 general election, his challenger, his mentor, his opposition leader, which was Dr. Mahathir Mohamad, criticized these projects and warned of a Chinese debt trap. Dr. Mahathir won the election, and during his tenure, he changed course on many of these projects, including Forest City. He commented negatively on the project, and he made it clear that buying an apartment in the city does not automatically entitle buyers to a visa. From the start, the project, as primarily advertised by Chinese citizens, and critics of the projects note that apartments cannot be afforded much by local Malaysian population. To put it bluntly, critics feared that what was building was a Chinese city within Malaysia's territory. There is hope that foreign investment can enable mutual growth and increase ties between nations in a way that is beneficial for both. But there is also concern that investment can lead to a dependency and result in a selling out of sovereignty.